Okay, welcome to Joe vs. Joe. This is our podcast, our first podcast / YouTube video channel episode of the year. Welcome. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Jordan.
Yep. And here we are. We're back at it for the 2022-2023 college football season. And holy cow, a lot has gone down this offseason. We're going to get to all the drama there.
This might be like one of the most eventful off seasons ever.
Honestly,
it's been insane.
It never stopped. But anyway, we were going to get to all that drama of conference realignment, where teams are going, what schools are going to do, what are the conferences going to do, what are they going to look like
What are
later.
the conferences going to be? Are there going to be Power 5 conferences?
Or is it going to be 2 mega conferences?
We have no idea.
But we're going to talk about that later because honestly, that story is developing and no one knows what's going on right now. So that's what we're going to do. We will get there. For right now, though, we have 5 Power 5 conferences, so we're going to deal with that.
And this season, we are going to have those same Power 5s.
Exactly.
So we will deal with that right now.
We're going to go with that right now, and as we develop, we'll tell you more. But first, we want to talk about who we are and what this podcast is. / YouTube channel is. I'm gonna learn.
Our YouTube channel is new as of this season.
Brand
new.
Welcome.
We're developing.
You get to look at us this time, which is exciting. But Jordan, you want to tell them about who we are?
Yes. So we are husband and wife, and we both love college football. We'll tell our whole story later, but honestly, it's a big reason why we even started dating. I was talking about, just a little snippet, I was talking about college football a lot with his brother, and after that, his brother said we should date. So it kind of is what got us together in the first place, is college football in general. Yeah. So, and ever since then, it's just played a big part of our relationship. We've enjoyed going to the football games. Our parents both have season tickets to the University of Utah football games. So we have just gone to lots of college football games over our
few years of marriage
and dating and everything.
Yeah, we just love college football, and we end up talking about it for hours. And that's kind of the point of this podcast is we give different insights, we feel like, to college football because we're a husband and wife. Not many people get a girl aspect from it, which is really cool. It's really, really unique of my wife, and I love that little part of her. But it's really cool. So we just want to share our insights with you. We try to have fun with it, though, and the whole point of this podcast is to honestly include you. We want you to be involved.
Channel.
And YouTube channel. I'm going to learn. It takes me a second, but I'm going to learn. This is a podcast / YouTube channel. We want to have you involved. We have an Instagram, which Jordan does so good on. We have a Twitter, which Jordan also does so good on. And we have a YouTube channel that we're going to learn together on, which is going to be great. Follow us, like us, subscribe, do whatever you want.
Do all the things. Our Instagram handle and our Twitter handle
right
is the
here.
Same. It's Joe vs. Joe, JOVS, And then our YouTube channel is also Joe vs.
right here.
Joe. And then we also have a podcast still on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yep,
all the things.
you can find us there.
You can also listen there if you don't want to watch it.
Yep. So many ways to find us now. We're trying to be as available as we can to all of you. We have fun things to keep you involved. We do not in any way, shape, or form claim to be experts on college football. We are not. We do not claim that title.
We are just your above average football fans.
That's our title. We are above average football fans. We love it all. We don't just focus on one team. We do have our favorites,
And we will definitely talk about our favorites, and you'll know who our favorites are. I think I've already said.
We will also acknowledge the ones that we don't like, but that's okay. We do love all of college football because it's so great.
We try not to wear our goggles. We try not to just stick to one thing. So we're really open-minded when it comes to college football, and we just love it all. We just love good college football.
Yep. So join us as we dive into this year.
Our name. So we'll just tell you really quick why our name is the way it is. First of all, these first few episodes before the season, our preseason episodes, they're going to be a little bit different than our, during the season episodes. Our during the season episodes will kind of be we're going to pick our top 5 games, maybe 6. We'll throw in, an extra one here and there.
Week.
But our top 5 games for that week. And they might not be the top 5 games like ESPN picks or something. They're our top 5 games. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we pick that, and then we kind of go head to head. Hence, Joe versus Joe, And so we're going to go head to head. I'll pick a winner. He'll pick a winner. Sometimes they'll be the same. Sometimes they won't. But we then keep track of all of those points. I'm an accountant. I keep track in a spreadsheet. I have a whole spreadsheet for it. So it's fun. We also do go through the top 25 teams too and kind of keep track of that. And then we have a game of the week. We'll explain all of that more in depth when that comes. But the point is we kind of go against each other. That's why the name is the way it is. And we will, have a winner and loser at the end.
And shout out to Jordan. She was the winner last year. She clobbered me. I actually had quite the lead in the middle of the season.
And for a while, for a few weeks in a row, I was like, I'm never going to catch him. I was
feeling really good. But then I think I went too risky and Jordan went smart and we flip-flopped. But it was crazy. She got me. But we also not only go against each other, we go against you too. We want to hear what you have to say. We want your insights. Send us feedback. By no means do we claim to be experts again. Yes. So good times. Good times ahead.
And on the Instagram and Twitter, we'll post all of our top 5 games. And leading up to the season 2, follow us because I'm posting a different team every day and asking your insight into what you think their record will be this season. Mm-hmm. So we do lots of interactive things. We like to hear from you as well.
Yep. And we compare ourselves as well to the experts.
Yes, we do.
Too. So last year we did pretty good.
Crowd, we were doing really well.
We both beat the experts. So we go by according to like what the line is going to be for the games, how much
on
teams
ESPN.
are going to win by on ESPN. We go a lot from them. But we actually beat the experts last year. So above average football fans. There we go. Anyway,
let's get into it.
We're just getting into it. This week, we're doing the SEC.
Yes.
As you can tell, we wore our SEC shirts.
Tennessee, Alabama.
Alabama and Tennessee and all of the SEC.
Yeah, we're going over all of the SEC, but these are the ones we have.
This is going to be a good time. So here we go right into the SEC. Jordan, we went through each team's schedule, and we decided how their schedule is going to end up. We decided wins, losses, okay? And how did yours end up going for you?
Okay, so my top 5.
Top 5. We
have number 1, Alabama.
Alabama.
By a long shot. Alabama, yep. I have going 12-0.
It's so... I just don't know how you go against them.
It's really hard.
It's just
I have
hard.
them going 12-0.
It's not natural to go against them.
Then I have number 2, Georgia. I also have them going 12-0. So I guess, tied, but then I maybe have Alabama winning the conference championship. Number 3, I have Texas A&M.
And drama there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And I have them going 11-1, losing to Alabama. That is their one loss. Then I have tied at number 4, so kind of number 4 and 5, Tennessee and Arkansas with 9-3, and they don't play each other, so there's not really a tiebreaker. So
perfect. I kind of was very similar, if not the same. I don't know. I have Alabama at number 1. I think Alabama's going to go undefeated. And then I think Georgia will come right behind them. They'll play in the conference championship. So Georgia at number 2. I've got Texas A&M at number 3. But however, Texas A&M and Georgia aren't playing this year. Mm-hmm. I think if they played, Texas A&M would win.
I think it depends on where it is.
Maybe that's a terrible prediction. I don't know. The thing is, that's not an arguable argument yet because it probably won't happen. But I'm sorry. The next team I have, Stunner. Tennessee. I don't know why, but Tennessee's going to have a year this year.
An easier schedule being in the East.
Yeah.
So,
but still, I think they're going to have an okay year this year. They just got fined a lot, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then I have Arkansas. The Razorbacks are back.
We like the Razorbacks.
If you know what we mean by last year, they were back last year.
They were decent.
At least they were better than what they have been.
Oh, a lot better.
But they're back.
Yeah.
They're back, and they're gonna be back again this year. They're gonna do decent. It's gonna be great. And then my 5th team.
I thought that was.
Oh, that was my 5th.
Yeah.
That was my 5th team.
Yeah, we have the same.
That's how we go.
Just in like a little bit different.
Yeah, and so those are our top 5 teams. Obviously,
Let us know if you disagree or agree.
Yeah. We know that there's an East and West though, but like we've got Georgia winning the East, and
then we have Alabama winning the West.
So that's what we think. Conference championship. There you go. Game of the year though in the SEC. It has potential to be. It's probably one of the most anticipated games of the year,
for sure.
Just because of the drama. I don't know if it's the most anticipated game, but it is definitely.
It's always in those
the
top
hype
10
is
when you see
the
them.
hype is definitely building because.
Wait, well, let's see what the game is.
Oh, you're right. We should. It's Alabama versus Texas A&M,
and it's Alabama,
which is going to be juicy. One, because Texas A&M beat Alabama last year and almost
Texas
threw
A&M.
off Alabama's schedule.
Whole season. Honestly, if Texas A&M had one out, which they did not, they would have gone to the conference championship and not Alabama. And so it made Alabama tied with a bunch of teams. Even Ole Miss and Arkansas were right in there with to go for the West. And so it threw kind of everything off. It really just, put back Alabama's season a little bit. So there was a lot of stuff there. And so now it's at Alabama, though, and I think Alabama will come out with a vengeance.
And Texas A&M's coach, Jimbo Fisher,
Yep.
And Nick Saban got in a little beef this past summer with NIL stuff. Nick Saban called out Texas A&M because Texas A&M had the best recruiting class. And Nick Saban's used to having a top 5 recruiting class.
Which he still has.
Yeah.
It just wasn't number 1.
But the Jimbo Fisher, he was saying Jimbo Fisher bought all the players, and Jimbo Fisher clapped back and said, "Oh, whatever, like you don't." And they're bickering.
But it was definitely digs at each other, and they made it known.
And now apparently at SEC Media Day, Jimbo Fisher said, "I don't have any hard feelings against Nick Saban." Yeah, you know what? You're just saying that. You're looking forward to that game. That game is going to be so juicy.
There's so much drama already. We're excited for it. And we're hoping that both teams are undefeated going into it.
Which
that
very easily could happen.
Well, I have Texas A&M at 11-1
Me too.
losing that game.
Me too.
And I have Alabama at 12-0. So if it goes according to us, they will be undefeated.
Mark your calendars. October 8th. Do not plan anything. You need to watch that game.
Buy tickets. Go. It's like $300.
If you go to that game, send us pictures. We would love.
Well, we might have you on our channel.
We might invite you. If you go, there's incentive to get on our channel. If you go, and we will invite you. Anyway, big game. That's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. Other big games, we've got some out of conference play. We've got Georgia and Oregon first game of the week.
And there's some drama with that. First game of the season. Their first game.
Words.
There's some drama with that too because the new Oregon head coach is the previous national championship winner, defensive coordinator
for Georgia.
So the one who literally just helped Georgia win the national championship, their defensive coordinator, is the new Oregon head coach.
So he knows them through and through. I think it's gonna be a very tough task for Oregon going to play Georgia.
They have lots of new players. They also have Bo Nix from Auburn as their quarterback. So lots of SEC ties for Oregon.
But don't count Oregon out though, because their coach knows Georgia through and through.
Through and through. So, he knows them way better than Georgia knows Oregon. But Georgia does have the clear advantage. Them being returning national champions, them, having that same head coach.
Which, by the way, congrats, Georgia, on your national championship.
Bulldogs. We do have a Bulldog, so we kind of
go Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And so that will be a good game. It's a neutral site, but it's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, so neutral site, yeah.
But it's kind of a home game.
Oregon does travel well, but at the same time,
literally like a half hour from Georgia.
Yeah, not a neutral site game, but good try. We also have Alabama at Texas week 2.
That'll be a big game.
Which is exciting.
That'll be like two big names games. Yeah. But Texas, they're always said to be like, oh, this is Texas' year. Texas is back this year. But honestly, I don't believe it until I see it. So I'm going to go with an easy win to Alabama so far.
Yeah, Texas, if you want to
make a splash,
bounce back and be back,
that is how.
There's your chance. Another interesting game. I don't know if this is like a big game, but a game of note. A game to watch week 1. Arkansas and Cincinnati are going to go at it.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. I had your number last year, and you know what? I knew it wasn't going to go well in the playoff for you. Everybody did, except for you, which you thought you were going to.
I think Cincinnati
but
was set to regress a little this year.
Yeah.
But
you know that they're going to try to
they are. It's
do
going
it
to be
again,
it's going to be
obviously.
an interesting game,
It'll
and
be
we'll
interesting.
see kind of where Arkansas is
And
at.
we will definitely, and I think it's going to be a perfect test for both teams. I think it's going to really set the tone for both teams. Are the Razorbacks back? We'll find out. Or is Cincinnati still legit?
Right.
That's going to be at Arkansas week 1, September 3rd.
We also have another week 1 game that's kind of interesting. We have Florida versus Utah.
Which
Utah
Florida.
Go ahead. Utah was the Pac-12 champions last year, went to the Rose Bowl and barely lost to Ohio State. And it's at Florida. Florida was decent at the beginning of the season and then whoosh,
went down.
Yeah.
And now this year they have a new coach. They lost a lot of players. They're kind of in a rebuild, but they still have a lot.
Supposed to be decent.
They still have their quarterback who's very good, and they're going to be good. So that will be a very intriguing game as well. Pac-12 and SEC going at it week 1 with Oregon and Georgia and Florida and Utah.
So that will also be another interesting game week 1. We could maybe kind of see how Florida actually is going to do this year because Utah is also supposed to be.
And there are many other notable games of, we've got Texas A&M versus Miami. We've got LSU versus Florida State.
We have Arkansas at BYU later in the season.
That'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of interesting games. SEC's you're never going to have a week where the SEC is just boring. Right. So it's very exciting stuff with the SEC going on this year. And is it next year that they're adding? Is it next year or the year after?
I think it's the year after that. I think it's 2024. Correct me
they're
if I'm
adding
wrong.
Oklahoma and Texas. So woof.
The SEC is going to just go crazy. They're probably going to do some realignment with the East versus West thing. But yeah, Texas and Oklahoma are going to be entering the SEC. That was one thing that happened during the off season that was insane, but now everyone's kind of forgotten about it because of all the other stuff. But that is still one thing that's happening, which is still kind of crazy. Also, LSU got a new head coach as well, the previous Notre Dame head coach. So LSU, I think, is supposed to be a little better this year as well. So that will be interesting to see kind of where LSU falls into that.
So Jordan, I have a question for you. Let's pretend that I came back from the future and I said, Jordan, Alabama, Georgia, or neither Texas A&M won the SEC. If I said that, who would you be like? Oh my gosh, this team won it. Who would you say?
Here's the thing. I feel like if that were to happen, it would be someone just completely out of left field. I would say LSU almost.
Well, because I think they could.
Here's the thing. LSU, I have 4th in the West. So.
Wow.
I think they fall 6th or 5th in overall. But I have Alabama, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and then LSU for the West. And so, obviously, right now, I don't think so. But if all 3 of those teams, I really just don't think Arkansas is going to do it. I have them higher than LSU.
Yeah.
But if all 3 of those teams did not win the conference championship, I would say it's because LSU came out of left field, or is doing so good under their new head coach, and is just ready to play.
I agree with you. I think LSU could do it. I'm gonna say Arkansas just because
I would love that.
Just because I don't know why I like Arkansas. I think I like a lot of teams, but I like Arkansas, Woo Pig, all the things. But I would be happy to see them.
I would love that. And that's kind of a new
an SEC championship.
That would be great because that's also a new team kind of to win the SEC championship. We've had Georgia, we've had Alabama, we've had LSU,
It's been a minute since we've had Arkansas.
Arkansas. So that would be a fun one to have. I would not be sad about that.
Now, I did not predict Arkansas to win the SEC, obviously. I predicted that in the conference championship for the SEC, I predicted undefeated Alabama with a 1-loss Georgia.
I have both undefeated.
I don't know why I have Georgia losing to Florida. I just have Florida just playing out of their minds in that 1 week. I don't know why. But I have a 1-loss Georgia, undefeated Alabama, and you have the same teams but undefeated Georgia.
Which probably won't happen.
Now, they're not going to play each other in the regular season. Who are you picking to win that game?
I'm going to have to go with Alabama. Georgia has a history of, letting people down. I mean, they lost the SEC championship last year. The same season they won the national championship. I think it was better that way because I think if they would have won the SEC championship, I really think they would have lost the national championship.
Yeah, I would have flipped.
So it's good. It's better for them that way. But I feel like Alabama is one that will just go in and win. And so I really feel like Alabama will just go in and win. Georgia could do it, but I just think I have Alabama.
No, yeah, and I agree. I feel like I've never picked against Alabama. And it's hard to do. It doesn't feel natural, doesn't feel clean, it doesn't feel good. But I just have to go with Alabama. I think they're out for blood this year. They were kind of told that they weren't as good as they really were last year because they almost lost to Auburn. They almost lost to Auburn. They lost to Texas A&M, and they
came close in a few other games too.
Yeah, but I feel like this year, Bryce Young is his name, the quarterback. He's got a whole year under his belt, and that year was his freshman year. Are you kidding me? He's gonna be a sophomore.
Their down year was pretty good. They still made it to the national championship.
I'll take a down year if that's what it's gonna be.
That was great.
So. Yeah, no, I think that they're going to do great, and I think they're going to go to the college football playoff as number 1 seed, and we'll talk college football playoff later for our predictions later. But Alabama, yeah, I think they're going to win the SEC, and it's going to be a interesting year though to see like what teams kind of maybe can sneak in a win, or maybe what teams can upset a team. I think Alabama could potentially lose to Texas A&M. Also, that Texas game, I think they're going to take care of business. But that's a dangerous game.
It is dangerous, and it's at Texas, so that will be dangerous. Also, even Auburn, they're always neck and neck, Alabama and Auburn. Even though Auburn hasn't been great.
Yeah, Auburn always.
It's always, Auburn won like a couple years ago or 3 years ago or whatever it was against Alabama. So, they always play so good against Alabama. So you do have some teams that could beat Alabama. I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama went 11-1 or something, but...
Will be interesting, but roll Tide, roll. Okay, well, that's the SEC, Jordan.
That is the SEC. Let us know your thoughts, and remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel
right here. So, bye.